channel. Hope everyone's doing okay. So I am back with two brand new games, obviously for myself. These are both Season 6 games. I'm trying to get rid of all my Season 6 games right now, and this is one where essentially it was a little bit of like a really hard fought loss basically, which I'm really annoyed about that we did end up losing it because I feel as though I played really well in this match. I was also in my little Overwatch 2 like league skin era, so I'm like, oh, showing that off. But yeah, I was queued as well as Zeldris, and I guess I kind of get into just commentating what I ended up doing. The second one, by the way, will just be a stream one. So whenever Bastion's obviously peeking here, I'm trying to go for the damage boost. I see my Ashe going for the off angle though, so obviously I want to go and try and help her, because obviously, you know, they'll see the Bastion go in and I'm like, oh, okay, you know. I'm picking the Pharah, just obviously let me know my Ashe is kind of like where she is. Obviously ends up shooting her down, so it's really good. And then they've red Sojourn, so I just want to obviously be careful with main. My Ashe decides to go in this little room, so I'm going to kind of like play just like a little bit back. She ends up pushing forward a tiny bit though, so I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, I was trying to enable her as much as I can, whilst also just staying in the room. Remember, I don't need to drop here to be with her. I can very much just enable her from this like little safety of the room. At this point, obviously, she ends up kind of like rotating down a bit, so I'm like, oh, okay, you know, my beam's not going to be able to reach there, I'll stay where I am. At this point, she goes in really aggressively, so I make sure that I save my GA so I can, you know, GA over the wall, basically. At this point, I was a little bit confused. I was like, where do I position myself? I end up actually going to the opposite side of her, so, you know, like, the enemy team don't actually end up having LOS of me, basically. And I'm here, like, seriously, like, why are we taking such an aggressive angle right now? But she will move back in just a second, so I just wait for her to coach gun over before I move. And we basically just play main at this point. Obviously, I'm going to jam myself a little bit back, so I'm getting a little bit scared of that Pharah, but the Ashe obviously kills the Mercy, which basically means I don't need to be scared of the Pharah anymore, because the Pharah's not going to go in a contest with the Ashe. My Ashe, once again, wants to go in really aggressively, gets stuck with the Bastion, but throws in Bomb. At this point, I'm just trying to obviously heal her up, like, as much as I can, because she's been really aggressive. Ends up getting hit with a what's it called? Bastion. I tried to obviously DPS the break up until I'm given an escape route by my lovely Zari giving me a bubble, and also Lauri's peeking me, which means I can very easily just get out. I'm picking the Pharah again, just obviously, you know, to let my team kind of be aware, especially because we have lost our Ashe, so it's going to be the main like person to deal with this. At this point now, I'm just balancing my beats between these guys. Remember that Alari Mercy isn't a lot of heals, so I'm very much kind of, you know, just trying to make sure I'm still keeping everyone up as well. I do a rotation back, so obviously I don't want to be kind of like really with them. At this point, I see my Ashe is weak, but then realize that she's backed off really far. I should have definitely like just sinned this instead of chained myself back and stayed with the Bastion. Kind of bad on my like kind of end, but we do end up kind of doing a lot. At this point as well, I can't really see my Ashe, so I stay just to go and help damage boost the ultimate up until I can actually go and help my Ashe basically. Top up the Bastion, and then we pretty much just win that team fight. Managed to save onto my Valkyrie as well, which is really nice. Once again, my Ashe is being really aggressive here. The bubble was really good to get her out. I'm using my Bastion as well to just GA myself a little bit away, just to kind of like create that distance, because I don't want to be as pushed up as my Ashe is. I do end up though going a tiny bit more further up, and then I end up kind of rotating myself this window. Definitely going to rotate myself up a little bit more. I just do a straight GA opposite the high ground. At this point, I'm kind of like just making sure my Ashe is kind of okay. I do like a long rotation because I don't really want to peek their main because of the amount of damage that they'll probably have. And then sadly, my Ashe ends up getting booped quite a few times, which basically means I end up not having LOS of her. I cannot go for the res there because I'll just start rushing into him. I do end up pinging it. I don't mean to ping it here. I just mean that there's like going to be people coming that way. It just decides to ping res. I'm never ever going to res in that situation. Let's just say that. So anyways, obviously just going to be playing. I end up popping my ult so I can go and help my Lauri as well as avoid the Bastion ult, because I end up using my GA in order to escape the grab. At this point, very much just balancing my heals. Now at this point, I can see the Bastion's really weak. I cannot out-heal that Bastion damage when the Bastion peaks, so it's best just do my own damage and go in and go DPSing myself. I end up finding my Ashes in an escape route so we can able, you know, to pick off the Lauri. Lovely bubble as well from my Zarya, and then we do end up basically kind of stabilizing here. Obviously, we have lost our Lauri, which isn't the best bless. I'm helping obviously heal my Bastion at this point. I should have definitely once again stayed up on the high, but I ended up rotating to the low just so I could go and help my Ashe basically. And by doing so, it obviously means that my Zarya sadly falls. There's nothing really I can do in this kind of scenario because obviously we're down a support and I'm playing very kind of like passively, you know, like where my Ashe and Bastion were. But I definitely could have made it a little bit more of a sharper rotation by being a bit further up. At this point, trying to get my Ashe out without being staggered because it's overtime and we do want to try and, like, you know, manage to survive the overtime. I'm picking the Zarya there, and at this point, once again, with the charge that the Zarya has, I'm not going to be able to go and help. I do end up obviously getting booped in, lovely bubble once again from my Zarya, and then I just end up packing off to kind of like where my Ashe is going basically. At this point, once again, just waiting for this like kind of recontest. I also wanted to try and build up my Valk if I could. but I don't know whether it's going to end up kind of working basically. So just once again, just applying that blue beam to my Ashe, just hoping and praying that she ends up getting a pick. I go into good damage with my Zarya before the Ilarial is coming in. I do actually end up avoiding it, which is really, really good. Obviously, Ilari ends up getting taken out, so I end up being main heals, and also my Zarya is really, really weak from the Ilari ult. So I'm trying to keep her up as well because she is the one that's stalling it right now. Do end up peeling back to my Ashe at this point. Going to go and help my Zarya, and then you'll see this really like weird Valk. I thought that I could have maybe kept my Zarya up with the extra healing per second that you get with your Valk. It just ended up basically that obviously my Zarya ends up falling while I'm popping the Valk because obviously the Bream breakage and stuff. This was definitely probably a little bit of a riskier Valk for me, and I feel as though that in the time, and still now as well, I don't really regret it, as I definitely think that, you know, if Ashe did get a pick onto the Tracer, or like our other support got back a lot quicker, we could have definitely like recontested it. So I don't regret the Valk at all. I feel as though it was good, you know, to, you know, have an attempt at it at least. You know, I tried my best. But anyways, obviously we're going for a quick little team reset here, not just pushing out. Obviously Zarya ends up catching the pulse bomb on her bubble, which basically means now that she's going to have a lot of charge to be able to deal with. At this point, obviously just playing back and just trying to, you know, to help my Ashe. I do end up actually narrowly avoiding this grab, which is really, really great. Like, nice lamp as well. The other issue is that our Bastion goes in really, really aggressively, and obviously the bat lamp comes out. Physically cannot do any more from my Bastion right there, to be honest. At this point, obviously trying to help my Zarya. I back off to create some distance and obviously, you know, try and keep my Ashe up. Remember, Zarya has a lot of HP. At this point, obviously, Ashe is falling. I know at this point that I cannot help res, so I'm like, yep, you know, I'm just going to get back. I call for my Zarya to back off, and then she ended up using her grab, so I'm like, oh, okay, we're committing to this. So I'm like, okay, but gonna go help you, Zarya, and then she just ends up falling. So I'm like, okay. Nice soldiers. I see that my Bastion is obviously there to go and help back me out, so of course I'm just going to back off there. Damage boost as soon as my BAP is like kind of like above that half HP barrier, because, you know, he's going to be completely fine. Now just damage boosting my Ashe. I know that I can res behind the wall. I make sure that I ping it just to know that obviously my, you know, so my Ashe doesn't end up going in like really aggressively and expecting that I'm there. And then we do end up using window. I don't know why we use window here, but you know what? It's fine, okay? We've all had dodgy ultimates. You know, we've had a dodgy grab, we've had a dodgy BAP window, we've had a dodgy Valk, so just I can't really say much. Anyways, so obviously at this point I'm just damaging my Ashe. Ashe does a lot more damage at longer ranges compared to Bastion. However, when Bastion goes into his turret form, I'm trying to you know, like damage boost as much as I can. Ilarial, I decided to pop Valk here just so I can maybe like try and help people. Obviously, once again, BAP ends up getting taken out really, really quickly. I'm helping Ashe with the ultimate, and then at this point I was very much kind of like, who shall I be with? Because I wanted to try and keep up both my Ashe to be able to get off picks as well as my Zarya. At this point, obviously my Zarya ends up getting mowed down. I didn't know whether anyone was going to touch, so I was like, okay, I'm going to fling myself on. Do end up obviously get taken out for that. And unfortunately, do end up kind of like just steamrolling it through us. So we went from basically like a really big full hold to now them suddenly steamrolling it through. But I wasn't like, you know, feeling bad about this. I feel as though I definitely like performed really well in my opinion. And honestly, I feel as though I tried as like the best I could, and I wasn't like, you know, feeling really heartbroken like, oh my gosh, like they managed to like full cap it, okay? Because I know that Shambali can be like, you know, like really hot, especially on first point, to be able to what's it called? First point is basically the best one to be able to like defend from. The other two can be, you know, very much on the attacker favor sometimes. So I was very much just like, okay, as long as we get through this first chokehold, it'll be absolutely fine, and then we can like, you know, just steamroll them. I felt as though we definitely had the better team. But anyway, so I'm obviously, you know, just waiting for the round to the round to kind of like restart basically. But while obviously this is going on, I want you guys to kind of like tell me in the comments which version you prefer. I'm giving you guys basically a side-by-side today. Normally it's like, oh, I'm just doing the what's called the voiceovers, or I just do stream. However, this one I had basically one game that was obviously off stream and one game that was on stream, so you guys could get like a real comparison into kind of like what the two vibes are. But let me know if obviously if you prefer these more educationally ones, or whether you just like, you know, just to watch my gameplay and have kind of like my initial stream reactions to stuff, I guess. I don't know, just let me know like down in the comments, you know, if you enjoy it, and also if you are enjoying the content as well, don't forget to subscribe. Gosh, I can't speak today. Don't forget to subscribe. Jeez. Because obviously it really just help out the channel and stuff like that. So anyways, we're on Echo and Ashe right now. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really go with my Echo too much because I was very more trusting in my Ashe. I played with my Ashe as well like several times before, and I do trust their capabilities compared to my Echo, who is okay. So I'm very much kind of, you know, just like damage boosting them whenever like they fly up. Whenever you see Echo fly up, it's usually to use their sticky bombs and to get like a really aggressive angle. So that's what I'm trying to do here. Whenever I see the Echo kind of like fly up, that's when I'm going to be damage boosting her, because that's when she's going to get the stickies. So as you can see, whenever she flies up, I'm going to basically try and follow her. I'm picking the brig, you know, to kind of like let my team know, like, hey, this is the person that Echo's kind of like following at this point. At this point, I get a really dodgy GA, which is really, really unfortunate. I wanted to try and, like, you know, like G round to here. I end up doing it a little bit late, which means obviously I can't go and help what's called our Echo, but I just tell my my tank just like, hey, I can, what's it called, I can like res this if you push up, in which obviously Zeldris did, because, you know, love Zeldris on tank. He's always like really, really good on tank, is his main role. Anyways, at this point, I'm trying to obviously play away. Ashes are getting pulled away, so I'm like, no, like I know, like I kind of like panicking a bit, so I'm like, I didn't expect her to get pulled away, because I was like with her. At this point, I'm kind of like just telling to Zeldris like, hey, just like die at this point. You don't need to be like, you know, because you're just gonna stagger me and Life Weaver can't get you out. I know that we can't, because obviously Life Weaver just uses pull. I just kept my beam and kind of like just hide here for a second. I was hoping the Life Weaver wasn't gonna like heal me at that last bit, because I didn't really want to be like given away and then suddenly just get rolled over. You know, like, I want to try and keep my death percent low, guys. Anyways, obviously my Ashe is going in aggressively here, so I'm just going to try and help them out, basically. Obviously, just like trying to make... I keep on flicking on the healing beam, by the way, just in case that she ends up getting hit with these like Zarya, like charge bubbles and stuff like that, you know, like her secondary fire, basically. That's just me just being like really cautious. I ping the Bastion, just obviously let them know, like, hey, like this Bastion is like completely like, you know, isolated and stuff like that. We end up using a tree here, and then I think I end up using Valk in a sec. Yeah, so they use rally and grab, so I just decide, okay, I'm going to use my Valk in order to try and like maybe help with some of this. They use Bastional as well, so this is just a full fiesta of ultimates, I feel like, in this fight. We also use Echo Coffee to copy Brig. But I think that was generally just for our Echo survivability, which, you know, completely understand. I feel as though the Valk was definitely needed. I feel as though because they chucked so many ults at us, I feel as though it was completely fine for us to use both support ults. I'm usually like really, you know, not into using both support ults. At this point, I know I can't cross to my Echo because of the Bastion, so I very much just have to kind of like leave her be. There is a health pack there as well, and Life Weaver can also heal from a distance, so I'll just stay and kind of enable my tank, basically. She ends up getting pulled away, which is a little bit annoying, because once again I go to try and go and help her. Echo flies up, so go to damage boost once again. Can't really see Life Weaver because of the petal, obviously it blocks my LOS, so I can't really do anything. But I'm just going to definitely, obviously I end up healing like my Rhine up a little bit, go really, really, really aggressive with my Ashe, and I rotate around to the cover while I do so. Obviously Ashe hasn't fallen, but I tell my Ryan like, hey, I want to go res, so obviously he just puts up the shield for me for a second so we can play passive for the res. Once again, this is really, really like a good reason why you should have comms with like, even like if it's just like with your tank or just someone. I see a L'Oreal, so I'm just playing like really, really passively in a way here. And at this point, I just play myself kind of like away, so I end up, you know, not being really near to someone that's been, whatever it is, like, heat stroke or whatever the ultimate is. I still cannot remember what a Laurie's ult is, I'm going to be honest. Anyways, to make up the points, obviously I'm not feeling like really, really dire at this point. I'm like, yes. So we push it with Echo here, because obviously my Echo wants to take this aggressive angle, maybe try and get some pickoffs. And my Ashe ends up coach gunning up, and she uses Bob. I remember my Ashe saying in comms at this point, like, that was a really bad Bob, so I feel as though we've all had a really dodgy ultimate at this point, which, you know, I guess we're the dodgy ultimate team or something like that. Obviously, trying to help Echo because she's staying in really aggressively compared to my Ashe that just backed off. Ryan's going to be completely fine. I do end up popping my Valk here because I want to try and help my team that's being, you know, pushed in really aggressively, but at the same time, I want to try and push the payload, okay? They managed to push it, obviously, with time remaining, so I definitely want to try and push it with time remaining. It doesn't really matter too much on payload, like, as long as you cap it, then you'll still be able to get a second attack compared to, like, hybrid and stuff. At this point, I'm trying to, you know, damage boost my Echo ultimate as much as I can because, you know, she managed to get that grab off. It can be kind of huge. She doesn't get pulled back, so I go up to my Ashe at this point. At this point, I'm like, okay, me and Ashe can take a really aggressive off angle here and really distract them. My team could definitely do something. So at this point, I was very much kind of like just playing kind of like one step back, you know, definitely like not, you know, peeking unless if I desperately, you know, need to. At this point, you know, just trying to help our Ashe get picked. So we do have to actually get the Sojourn, which is really good, but it ends up obviously, you know, get picked off. But it means our team can push it. I'm not gonna lie to you, I did not expect the Zarya to be there, and I end up seeing her, so I don't go for the res. I was just gonna like drop the res down like behind the rocks and stuff like that, but then I saw the Zarya and I was like, no, we're not doing that today. Obviously, trying to top up my Rhine a bit because it's going to be really important to keep him up. Obviously, trying to avoid the Bastion ult here. And then I feel that this is definitely kind of my bad with the positioning. I want to try and help my Echo, but at the same time not be pushed up with the Echo. It ends up with me kind of like just hanging about in this kind of like middle area, and I didn't see that my Rhine didn't have his shield up basically, so I do kind of get him mowed down. I should have definitely positioned myself. You know how there's like that little pillar? I should have definitely positioned myself kind of like where that pillar is, because your beam can still connect from that pillar, from what I believe. So well, that's just bad positioning on my behalf, but at the same time, I kind of like didn't expect a Bastion just to come like main and start plowing people down, to be fair. But anyways, obviously I'm just waiting for my Bastion to kind of like make this rotation around. I'm still waiting for my Ashe, because it might be that my Ashe wants to take the off angle, but obviously, you know, she doesn't end up doing, so I'm just damage boosting Bastion until my Ashe gets here, basically. I avoid the Ilario, we end up using Tree, which is completely fine. I'm just obviously, you know, trying to help my Ashe out here because I thought that she was going to coach come over the wall. We did end up getting a lot of like, you know, picks and stuff like that, which is really, really great. And then at this point, obviously, you know, just like trying to clear up everyone, basically. I pinged the Brig because she ended up obviously bashing in, and we want to try and like stagger her a little bit. We do end up getting her. And then obviously just to push up my Ashe, just see if we can get anybody else, basically. The more people we can pick off here late can really, really help us. The platform's up. I don't want to actually stand on the platform myself. I'm kind of like just going to hover, kind of like use that little pillar thing, I guess, to block the LOS. At this point, I'm just waiting for the recontest, basically. And if they do come recontest, I can Valk, which I do end up doing in just a second, although I can, you know, have my Bastion right now. I end up popping it now because I can see my Ryan's getting like really mowed over. Obviously, you know, ends up being pulled. Grab, fortunately cannot do anything about grab. I used the little platform though to go and do this res because I really, really enjoyed it. But then I do end up kind of rotating round. Sadly, I end up getting picked up with the Sojourn though by rotating round, but nobody ends up touching the point anyways. So sadly, that is unfortunately a really kind of like unfortunate loss, I guess. But yeah, hopefully you guys obviously enjoyed that. I feel as though I played really, really well, even though we did end up losing the game. You will have games like that all the time. Like, you know, you feel like you've just performed like the absolute amazing that you can, but you end up losing the game. In my opinion, in my eyes, that's not a loss. Like, if you feel like you performed to the absolute best of your ability and you lose the game, that is not a loss. That is like, you know, you're always going to have, you know, like games where you end up having teammates that are not going to be that great. You're like, your team just doesn't synergize enough, or the enemy team is just better. But if you feel like you've done everything in your power to try and win that game, that is not a loss in my opinion. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll leave you to the next gameplay then. Any predictions of the anniversary shop when we look at season 7? It won't be there anymore. Anniversary shop will go after this week, so if you want any of the skins that are in the anniversary shop, get it now. Because the anniversary kind of event stuff ends basically next Tuesday when the new season starts. But I think they're starting like a Halloween thing. I don't know if it's going to be like a shop rotation and stuff yet, but I don't know. The pink wings, no, I know, they look so, so cute. And we're suffering with those tier lists together. No, honestly, I just look at them and I just think, have I been included? And if I've been included, I feel kind of like privileged. I'm like, hey, at least I'm on the list. Oh, bros, on kind of like console Overwatch Twitter, a lot of people made like tier lists and stuff like that. Just because people don't really have anything else to do, I guess. So they made these like tier lists, and I've only ever appeared on one of them. But I was on like C tier or something though, so I was like pretty pleased with that. I was like, hey. But yeah. Oh dude, he's in Plat Overwatch 1 and more severe, having like literally thousands upon thousands of games this season. Like, how? I don't have like the effort level, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I have the effort level to do the stream. Oh, okay. She's gone. I'm just scared of being dope. Nice. I'm just being really cautious because of the echo. Feeling my doom a bit. I'm just scared of the person that's above us. Nice, really good slide from my Sojourn. I always love like damage boost from my Sojourn whenever like she goes to slide onto people. Well, I don't know. should maybe buddy hops that last GA, but oh well, it is what it is. I made it out alive. That's all that matters. Not gonna lie, I thought I was gonna die to that. It's like a thing that I do is just die to D.Va bombs. Okay, I'm just gonna push my soda on. Do not ask how my social is still alive, by the way, because I also could not tell you. I wanted to make sure my Doom was healthy before I res. Alright, I'm just gonna try and keep him up. Sorry, I'm never looking at chat, by the way, guys. No, I can't get to her. You. No. Dude, I tried my best. It is what it is. What is Val? I used it so I could like keep myself alive because I thought I was just gonna start getting dove. I thought I was gonna start getting dove, so I was like, oh, let me like use it like to reset myself. Listen, I like to be a little bit creative over here. My peel today is I'm hoping my Brink's okay, I'm gonna be honest. She's still under there. Who are they fighting? They're fighting a D.Va. I'm kind of like just leaving them to it. Oh. I don't think I can even get down there in time. Whoop. Hey, fine. Oh, I wanted to J to like the thing, but it just didn't really happen. Please don't land in here. Please don't land in here. Right, was this a panic valve? Yes. But did it work out? Sort of. So, I don't think it really matters personally. Hi, Brias, welcome. I thank you, Orlin, as well for the follow. Hope you had a lovely day. All the nice teachers just don't have taste. Dude, I think it's really cute, man. No shame in the body felt. Listen, I just wanted my 0 deaths. No, I'm kidding. Dude, how have I also not died? Don't know, man. Definitely panic out when we heard that scream. So I'm surprised none of my screams throughout the entirety of the stream has caused people to be alarmed. I feel as like people are just used to it by now. There's gonna be that one time that I'll get murdered or something and they're gonna be like, oh wait, like, there was actually someone. She wasn't just like casually screaming like normal.
Did you finish the last slice of pie? I was saving it for later.
My character stacked with skins, top of Overwatch 2? Dude. That's actually kind of stacked, not gonna lie.
You and Reyes were both enhanced.
Oh, thank you. I mean, what's it called? I don't know how I've done it, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'm kind of like just vibing.
I wouldn't say he's...
To be honest, my movement has been good today, actually. I will congratulate myself on that. Like, for some reason, my movement has been kind of clean. Especially, dude, there was that one Ilios game earlier. I was like, oh my god. Right, cool, then let's go. Oh, well, that's my soldier gun. I'm just gonna let him respawn. Okay, I'm glad this should see me. Kind of like just playing a bit far back though, just in case the D.Va decides to dive us or anything. That was a rotation, I will say. Okay, that was very much for my own survivability. To be fair, I do not regret. Right, save my GA for that.
We are outnumbered. Take heed.
No, it's the D.Va bomb that kills me in the end. There we are, there's a 0 death YouTube game gone into the mud. But it is what it is. I'll see you later. Have a lovely evening. Oh, maybe winnable?
Tactical visor ready for deployment.
Tactical visor.
Oh my gosh! Jesus! I had a heart attack. I'm gonna who's Eldris. Oh, we capped it, it's alright. Dude, I had a heart attack. Like, what is the Olari doing in there? Like, hello? Orange? Oh, dude, Orange is so sweet. I love Orange. And Orange says hi. Oh. I'll have to message him afterwards. Yeah, I love orange. How is this a distraction this time?
All I need are some better days. Fuck me, I'm looking in the mirror. So foggy, but I've never seen clearer. I don't really think anyone can save me. And honestly, I'm not really sure I want saving. I like to be my own worst enemy. There's no risk if you don't try at anything. So I'ma just keep buying everything. See you in the next life, have to be a better me. I don't think that my head's on straight. Gotta flip it and grip it and go and get an x-ray. What's wrong with me? I just feel weight pushing on my chest.